from SomaSense Wellness Consultancy and the chapter leader for the Extraordinary Women Helderberg. With us today we have Sarah Arnot from Woodburn Mann Leadership Science Institute and the author of the new book, That Further Shore, Turn Your Dreams into Goals and Make Them Reality. Thank you very much for a very inspiring morning, Sarah. It was particularly the bit on self-management as part of self-leadership that spoke to me. Won't you please tell us a little bit more about the concept of self-management?
Yes, thank you very much. It was a wonderful morning. One of my favorite quotes of all time is Tuli Madonzella's when she says, "You cannot lead others if you cannot lead yourself, and the hallmark of leadership is responsibility." And I think it's true that you can take the lessons of leadership, which is my field, into self-leadership. And that self-leadership has got a lot to do with self-responsibility and for being responsible for your behavior. And something that I've seen a lot of is bad behavior in the workplace, bad behavior in sport. And I'm on a bit of a mission to change that because there isn't any need for it. We can actually manage ourselves and our behavior, and I'm not perfect, let's be absolutely clear about that. One of the reasons maybe I relate to this is that I can be quite emotional, but we actually have the opportunity to understand that our brains sometimes respond in ways that we wouldn't be proud of if we looked at a video of it later.
And it's quite counterproductive.
Yes, exactly, because it forces other people into that uncomfortable space where they lose control of maybe their own emotions. So one of the things that I talk about in my book and also in leadership talks that I do is this concept of self-management, that we don't actually have to respond when people behave badly. We can think of it as them having a moment where they're actually just not in control of what they're doing. They might not be proud if they did it later. They wouldn't be proud if their mum was watching them. And let it ride over us a bit. So we try not to respond because you can't actually reason with a person who's in that space in any case. So rising above it, rewarding the good behavior rather than responding to the bad behavior. Yeah.
And the role that habits play is also important.
So habits are very much a fundamental piece of what we are. It was Shakespeare who said we're made up of our habits. And they're very hard to change. Once we've fallen into a habit, it can be really hard to change what we do. And I do talk about that in my book, about how it takes time to change habits and commitment, but it can be done. And if you want to change something in your life, you have to figure out what is the process of that change and what new habits do I need to take up.
Take the place.
Yes, and then you have to make it easy for yourself. You're not going to run 10 kilometers a day on day one. Yes. Maybe you're not ever going to do it, but you might be so much healthier if you walk for 20 minutes every day. The first 20 minutes matter the most.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. If you want to find out more about how to learn new habits and a lot of other things about self-leadership, have a look at her book. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.